Once you spawn into the map, you're going to want to hit this bucket. If you need to, you're going to have to crouch or lay down in order to move it from the spot. And then you want to put it under the sprinkler so that it can fill up with water over time so that you can use it later. Then you're going to want to head up to the Mutant Research Lab, interact with this unit next to the mangler to collect the syringe. These are all 4 locations for Klaus's legs. One's next to this broken TV, in this rubble, on top of the shelf in the robot assembly, and just on the floor in this cabinet in the same room as Klaus. You can then place them on Klaus himself. You can get the first Klaus arm by shooting the arms off the Klaus robots in the special rounds. This takes 2 special rounds in total, which you can get the first one before getting to Pack-a-Punch. Next, you're going to want to check all 3 documents in the executive suite and make sure to write them down so that you can figure out the code once you have the 4th. Interact with the snow globe to open the door to the PAP room. Go on through. Interact with the console to turn on the beam. And then you're going to have to shoot all the crystals in order for Pack-a-Punch to appear. Just like that. In order to get the key card, you're going to have to kill scientist zombies in the mutant research test area. And then you can use it on the cabinet located right here, which you can then collect the DNA sample. Next, you're going to want to have to jump into the beam when the zombie is in it, interact with the zombie, and it should drop down to the floor, and then grab Dr. Fowler's sample from the dead body. Then head back to the mangler and interact with the unit right next to him. And then the mangler should have Dr. Fowler's consciousness. Then you're going to want to kill him, grab the special injection, finish off the other elite in the room, and then head to the Dark Entity containment room, interact with the bioscanner and use the special injection. It will then identify you as Dr. Fowler, and the door should open and the portal should be active. Head through the portal, go up to the counter, interact with the document, and take note of the final document. These are the documents that were in my game, and I put them in order of the numbers next to the name of the document itself, and then the months are in the bracket next to the name. In order to get the 4-digit code, you need to order the months from earliest to latest. So for this example, number 1 Not So Collar is first, and then it's the scarf, and then it's the wristwatch, and then it's the katana. So it's 1, 3, 4, 2. So the numbers next to the name is the number that you put into the computer, not the month. Then you type that into the computer, and that's that step all done. Now it's time to get the Gorgofex. You're going to want to walk up to these 2 computers, take note of the first letter that pops up on the screen of each element. Mine was Knavish and Bellicose. You then want to go back up to the periodic table and find those 2 letters together. Mine was BK, so the atomic number is 97. Make sure to put a 0 before it and then input that into the keypad. And the door should open. Now you need to get 3 kills of both vermins and zombies in front of this test tube with the cyst in it. For the first 3, you weaken the zombie and it'll transform into a vermin, and then you kill the vermin and it should be sucked up. And you do that 3 times, and then the same with just zombies. 3 of each. And then you can pick up the cyst, and then you need to head over to the quantum computing core and walk up to the 3 specific plants and suck up their etheric flora health. All 3 are pretty close to each other, so it should be pretty easy to find them. And then head back over to the Dark Entity containment room, and then you're going to want to quickly interact with the 4 computers that say initiate power surge. And it will create an electrical surge, and the plate in front should be electrified. An Uber Klaus will spawn, which you need to shoot the shoulder pads off, and then lead him to the pressure plate, and then you should transform and be possessed by the Forsaken, which you then need to fully kill. Once dead, an orb will appear, and then interact with it, with the cyst. And then there you go. There's your free Gorgofex. Now by this point you should have both arms, place them on Klaus. I forgot to show it in the video, but you need an Uber Klaus to shoot an electrical orb at Klaus for him to activate. And he should be typing on the computer for about a round or 2, and then you're going to have to escort him back up to the Dark Entity containment room, and he'll stay here and either a SAM trial will spawn, or in my case, I had to wait 2 rounds for one to appear. And then start the SAM trial and complete it. Once done, he'll go to the teleportation lab and interact with the computer, and he'll stay there for the rest of the game. Now you need to get the brain, so make sure you have melee macchiato, and punch the Janus unit, grab the brain, and go back to the teleportation lab before the brain shrinks too much. Put it in the other unit, and that's the brain step done. Now you need to upgrade the Gorgafex. First you need to interact with Blanchard in the executive suite. This is optional, you don't have to upgrade the Gorgafex, but in this playthrough I did. To upgrade the Gorgafex after interacting with Blanchard, you need to press the red button in spawn and then defend the Klaus while he is shutting down the elevator. Once done, he'll blow up, and then you need to go to the top of the shutdown elevator, which is in the quantum computing core, and then fly down and interact with all 3 red levers on your way down. And then you'll be shot back up. Panos will talk for a quick second, and then he'll fly to other zombies and electrocute them and possess them, and you need to kill them with the Gorgafex. Once killed, Panos will appear, you interact with him, and your gun will be taken, and then he'll be sucked into the Gorgafex, and then there you go, there's your upgraded Gorgafex. Next you need to go to the PAP room. Since you already put the code in the computer, you can do this, and then interact with the control panel. And you need to fill up the soul box with kills. Soul box being the orb. Once it is big enough, you can interact with it. It'll electrify your Gorgafex. You need to go to the teleportation lab and then shoot the portal with a charged shot. Now we're up to the head step. You need to shoot the zombie with a charged shot in this spot, just next to the drop spot into this area. And then the head should float down. And then you can pick it up, put it in the bucket that you moved in spawn. And then once you pick it up, you can't sprint, and then you act as a moving soul box. You need to get kills until you get a quote from Dr. Hawkins himself. As you're holding the head, the mist will try and damage you. Make sure to move to the Dark Entity containment area as you're doing this. Once you get the quote, you can go back into the teleportation lab and place the head on the portal, which will charge the portal up, and that's the head step done. Now these little blue boxes should be open, and you can grab the Pokeballs. There'll be 4 floating objects that you need to catch with them by simply throwing them directly at the object, and then pick them up. I was lucky and had 3 in the executive suite, but usually there's only 2. Here's the final one. Once you have all 4, you can place them in the unit in front of the portal and then activate the energy transfer. During this, you need to quickly interact with the levers. Some will be glowing red, sometimes it's bugged. You need to do them in quick succession. Once you pull all 5 levers, the lockdown is done, and you are now able to go into the boss fight when you are ready. This is now your time to prep and get ready. Make sure you have all your perks, upgrade your guns. Once you go through the portal, you will have the choice to side with Richtofen or Sam. I chose to side with Richtofen, obviously, because I love him. There's 2 phases before the actual boss fight. The first is 3 soul boxes as LTGs. You need to fill them up with 10 kills each. The first one is here. You don't have friends. You have a malfunction manifesting rampant. Second one is in the middle of the room. Again, 10 kills. And the third one is at the very end of the room. The second phase is shooting the ether crystals until you get a quote from Richtofen or Sam, whoever you chose. The 4 pillars will charge the Sentinel artifact. And now is the actual boss fight. I chose the Sam boss fight first because people say it's a bit easier than the Richtofen fight. The Sam boss fight is pretty easy. I'll explain it as easily as I can. You're going to want to shoot her when she does her spinning attack, as she's not immune during this phase. And then also after she does her long beam attack, she'll have weak spots that you can shoot for a short period of time. During this boss fight, there'll be 2 SAM trials that you need to complete, and as a reward, you will get a random perk for completing it. And once they start, you get a free max ammo. Again, after her beam attacks, make sure to hit her weak spots to deal the most damage. And there you go, that's all you have to really worry about with the SAM boss fight. And that is the Easter egg done. Definitely a lot easier to deal with. If you'd like me to do the other Easter eggs, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe for future content. This was the quick and easy guide to the new DLC 4 The Reckoning Zombies map. Thank you for watching.